How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my channel and time for another episode of Luke's Reviews. On today's video, well, it's been predominantly an online sort of day for the London Film Festival. So I've got two reviews for the price of one video, and kicking things off for this double feature is a film that brings a whole new meaning to the phrase Hell's Kitchen. So first up is my review for Boiling Point.
I'm looking at. What's that say?
Oh dear.
It's a fucking joke, isn't it?
And it's her first week, so it's my responsibility.
It's not a first week in any fucking kitchen, though, is it? There's a million kids out there who would die for this fucking opportunity that you've been given.
Boiling Point is set in a fine dining restaurant on what is due to be the busiest day of the year for the staff. Stephen Graham stars as the head chef who gets obstacle after obstacle hurled at him in a film that refuses to let the tension simmer for a single second. The biggest talking point about Boiling Point is that it has been filmed as one continuous take. Now, I don't mean that like a 1917 type thing where there are a lot of long shots that have been edited together to look like one continuous shot from start to finish. This is a 90-minute one-take scene. And I was worried that it might have been a bit too gimmicky. Would it have still maintained the intensity without the one-take shot? And the truth is, there is no way on planet Earth that Boiling Point would be as intense as it is if it wasn't for that one-take shot. The premise is already gripping enough, but with the camera never cutting, never straying away, and always following this ensemble around every hectic corner, director Philip Barantini prohibits you from taking a breath at all. The whole thing was impeccably staged and choreographed. The balancing act of shifting from the kitchen to the bar to the dining rooms all feels meticulously crafted, ensuring that we never spend too long in one particular area before dipping back to see how the other area is getting on. I will say this, if you have ever thought about working in a kitchen, this will convince you otherwise. Talk about if you can't stand the heat, then get the hell out of the kitchen. Barantini also does a fantastic job on giving us characters to latch onto and unfolding and developing these characters over the course of 90 minutes in real time. Stephen Graham shines gloriously here, as he always does, acting as a powder keg who is just mere seconds away from exploding and taking everyone with him. Graham is one of my favourite actors working today, so it's always great to see him taking on these new challenging and dynamic roles. Equally as impressive as Graham is Vinette Robinson, who plays his sous chef, who you can tell is the glue holding the entire restaurant together, but even she can't maintain her composure and delivers quite possibly one of my favourite outbursts in the entire film. Some narrative threads are left dangling, which is a bit of a shame because I feel like if they had the time, could have had a really impactful payoff. And one story arc involving Jason Fleming as a celebrity chef antagonizing Graham's character didn't really work for me and felt like one plot thread too many. But if you're after a white-knuckle, tension-filled roller coaster, the likes of which we haven't seen since the Safdie brothers directed Uncut Gems, then do yourself a favour and check out Boiling Point once it's available. The ensemble all do a terrific job. Barantini's juggling act is seriously impressive, and the one-take approach ensures that you will be biting your nails or gripping your armrests until the film finally cuts to black. I'm going to give Boiling Point an 8 out of 10. Now we move on to the screenwriting and directorial debut of Fran Kranz with a film that I have been hearing non-stop buzz about since it debuted in Sundance earlier this year, Mass.
How many people are coming?
There'll be 4 of them. Richard, Linda, this is Jay and Gail Perry.
Thank you for agreeing to meet us.
You're welcome. I'm gonna leave you alone. Let me know if you need anything.
Two sets of couples agree to meet each other at an agreed location to discuss some very important and personal topics. One couple sadly lost their son in a tragic school shooting, and as for the other couple, their son was the shooter. Right, where to begin here? Mass is a heavy film. It's a film that will provoke a reaction. It's a film that will cause a lot of discussion, but I think all of those things are very important, and that is why Mass might just be one of the best films I've seen all year. If you are willing to invest, and it's asking a lot from its audience, but if you are, it may leave you a blubbering mess on the floor. There's a very brief setup and straightforward introduction, but it's not long before these 4 actors are just left in this one room, and that's your film. One long, powerful, ever-evolving conversation with one couple yearning for answers and the other couple doing their best to provide them. But in his writing, Kranz ensures one important factor. In this unimaginable situation, there are no easy answers. There's very subtle commentary on gun control, healthcare, mental health, but it never then develops into like a lecture on one of these things. It keeps the emotion from these 4 individuals the main priority. As for Kranz's direction, it's understated, gentle, and deeply affecting. Gradual zooms draw us into the conversation the more emotions are spilt. The film starts off predominantly only using static shots, almost treating the audience as if we're silent observers, but the more the conversation develops, anger and tempers flare, Kranz then switches to handheld, shifting and shaking uncomfortably along with you watching. But none of this would be as effective if it wasn't for the 4 central performances that you have here. And I will confidently say this: you will not see 4 better performances all in the same film all year than you will in Mass. My God, each of these actors give such profound and varying depictions of grief. Jason Isaacs is an actor I've been championing for so many years, and for him to be given a role such as this and show audiences just what he's capable of is fantastic to see. Isaacs, alongside Martha Plimpton, both provide immensely layered performances of parents desperately seeking for resolution and acceptance. Anger and fury often seems like the easy route to travel down, but it's the silence that speaks volumes, the pain in their voices, their expressions, all of this as they're discussing the most unimaginable tragedy for parents to experience. As for the other side of the table, Reed Birney and Ann Dowd have their own complexities to overcome. They have the difficulty of harboring the knowledge that their son was a killer, and they have to question whether there was anything that they could have done to prevent it, or whether there was anything that they did that could have indirectly caused it. It's an unflinching experience that asks a lot of its audience to invest into, but my word, if you can, you will be rewarded both immensely and intensely. All 4 of the main actors deserve awards acclaim, and even perhaps a couple of the awards themselves. You will be deeply moved, but also in awe of how delicately Kranz approaches the subject matter in searching for understanding and answers in a situation where they aren't always possible. I'm going to give Mass a 9.5 out of 10. Honestly, it's the best film that I have seen at the London Film Festival so far. It's not one that I'm going to be immediately wanting to rewatch because it's such an emotionally draining film, but I definitely want to experience this again when I feel like I'm ready to. Anyway, guys, those were my thoughts on Boiling Point and Mass. Let me know, have you had a chance to see either of these films yet? What did you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I've got plenty of London Film Festival content coming your way still, and as always, thank you ever so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure to click that like button, and if you aren't already, click that subscribe button too.